Alright, back. Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully that'll fix it. I don't know. Don't know. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Is it good? Does it seem okay? Don't know. Hopefully. Working fine for hours and then... Oh. Hey, seem promising so far? Alright. Okay, well, hopefully that is good. I don't know. I don't know. I should adjust the noise gate a little bit more. Alright. Okay, so the main display screen on the console comes to life with a swirling pattern of hexagonal shapes. They are soon replaced by an animated graphic of two intertwined spinning hoops. The computer, if that's what this thing is, seems ready for business. Chat got a little wild. It messed it up. You know what it's a good time for? Dr. Radiaki Penetlate? God damn it. The terminal room feels electric and alive, almost like there's a sentient damn it, I almost said sentient presence here. Making me think of Dr. Radiaki. The Terminar loom fears electric and arrive almost like there is a sentient presence here. No. It's like a futuristic version of Dr. Claw's chamber, except origami. Oh yeah. The spinning patterns continue to move across the main screen. Okay, push button. You put you. How many subs for a Dr. Radiaki appearance? What? You look closely at the screen, you see a strange graphical pattern there, a strangely mesmerizing image that looks like an intertwined set of hoops. Curious, you look down at the keypad under the screen and press the first button. What the heck? Much to your surprise, the console hums and an image of a Japanese woman replaces the spinning graphics. You do a double take. A woman? Yet more evidence of human contact on an alien artifact 446 billion kilometers from Earth. This is very strange. The image of the woman looks momentarily disoriented, and then her lips move. A soft, lilting voice comes from the console. Hello, it is nice to talk to someone who is outside. What? You stare at the screen for a moment. The only way you can think of to reply is to speak. Who are you? What are you? You finally ask the console, feeling somewhat foolish. Is she Dr. Radiaki? Oh shit, where we go again? Maybe she is Dr. Radiaki before her brain got taken out and put into a robot. The ghostly woman seems to hear your voice. She smiles slightly and answers your question. My name is Miki Akiro. I am or was a gateway prospector, and I got trapped here on my 4th mission. I'm originally from Osaka, but I lived in Los Angeles for 6 years while I worked as a cyberneticist for Teradyne. I got bored of the quest to build a better AI, so I took my retirement savings, bought a ticket for Gateway, and shipped out. The second question is not so easy. What am I? I think I'm a digitized version of the Miki Akiro that was killed by a robot aboard a derelict Hichi starship. Miki died, but the intelligence that runs the ship scanned her brain patterns and created me. I am a computer program, Miki, and yet not Miki. A collection of software and firmware that duplicates some of the thought processes, emotions, and memories of the woman that was Miki Akiro. I have no body. I exist inside a computer matrix. What are you doing in there? Miki grimaces. I'm not doing much at the moment other than talking to you. As to the underlying question of why I am inside the computer, I think the answer has to do with the inherent curiosity of the intelligence that runs the ship. The entity wanted to study me, and it felt that the best way to collect information was to kill me and extract my brain patterns. I didn't have much choice in the matter. Tatsune Miku. Can she sing Popipo? Tell me more about how you got inside the computer. 6 months after I arrived on Gateway, I began to get desperate. I had flown 3 missions, all duds. My air money was running out. I took a high-risk course code from my Gateway Corporation rep and bet everything on one last trip. Ask if she'd like to go out for a bite to eat. God. I took a high-risk course code from my Gateway Corporation rep and bet everything on one last trip. I boarded one of the ships, spent a month in transit, and then came out of Tau Space near Rigel. When I saw this huge artifact, I thought I was rich, and I used the maneuvering thrusters to come in behind the artifact, taking pictures. And then the tractor beam locked on. I was dead and didn't know it. Couldn't get away. Once my ship docked with the artifact, it became useless. I tried to find a way to get my ship to go back to Gateway, but the controls were non-responsive. Finally, I entered the artifact, and once inside, I realized it was a vast Hichi ship. I explored a little and found out how to get around. I began to hope I could find the bridge of this vessel and figure out how to fly it back to Earth. Then I discovered the Spider. Spider is actually a very sophisticated robot. It serves as the arms and legs of the oldest one, which is the intelligence that lives in the central computer and runs the ship. The robot prowls around the corridors and common areas, and if it catches you, it will do to you what it did to me. After studying the robot for a time, I thought I had figured out a way to disable it. I was wrong. It caught me. My last memory as a human being is of a shiny saw blade on a metal arm cutting into my head. It was very painful. What followed was even worse. I was reborn as an electronic being, but not complete. The Hichi haven't mapped human brain function very well. I'm a ghost more than anything else. What's it like in there? Miki sighs. It's a lonely. I'm usually in a shutdown condition and time passes quickly. Occasionally the intelligence that runs the ship will activate me in much the way you did. When I am active, I can roam around what amounts to a small electronic prison, an area of cyberspace that is very limited. You are the first person that I've talked to since I was transferred in here. For the most part, I am either inactive or left alone with my thoughts. Tell me how to get off this damn ship! Miki responds eagerly. I think your best bet is to fly this vessel back to Earth. You need to defeat the intelligence that runs the ship. Oh my god, we're playing System Shock. Reach the control center in the forward section and program the navigational systems with a course code for Earth orbit. I've developed a plan for doing this, and I believe I've succeeded in shielding my plan from the entity that lives in the computer. During the times that the ship's computer keeps me activated, I've been able to learn a fair amount about the ship. The navigation systems that control the star drive engines are located all the way forward, beyond the science sections and labs in the midsection of the ship. Near the ship's control center is the main computer room, a redundant array of 4 massive computer systems. Ask her if you can install Pleasure Suit Larry into her program. You need to get the forward part of the ship and shut down the elements of the computer system that are home to the intelligence that runs the ship. To get to the front, you should go to the zoo sections on the right side of the ship. That path has some risk associated with it, but it's a better bet than taking on the spider robot in the central corridor. Okay. When you get to the main computer rooms, you need to find the cores that are in the same color as the core you used to activate me. I believe that the correct color is green. Pull all the green cores out of the computer. This will knock out the high-level functions of the computer while leaving the lower-level maintenance and operation capabilities alone. Okay. Kimimichi! Hello, how you doing? Welcome. How's your day going? The core that you plugged into the computer in this room activates the matrix that serves as my home. Leave it plugged in. I may be able to help you in your battle with the oldest one, the entity that lives inside the computer. I can also help you figure out how to program the ship navigation system so we can fly home. How do I get through the bulkhead? The combination is 44153. 44153. Got it. Thank you. Do you want to talk further? Want to talk further? Miki sounds eager and forlorn at the same time. Of course I want to talk. I'm starved for any kind of interaction in here. I haven't talked to anyone for years. Thanks, Final Fantasy fan. I'd like to ask some more questions. Ask away. How do I get into the zoo? There are force fields that keep you out. They also keep the creatures inside where they belong. You can use a red cylindrical device, I have one of those, to traverse the force field. I don't know where that rod is now. I found it lying in a corridor. If other prospectors followed me, they probably moved it somewhere else. How do I get through the first zoo? I don't know. It's up to you. I have to go now. Goodbye, Miki. Goodbye. Oh, look at the rings. Whoa! Who's this guy? An image of a man in his mid-30s appears on the screen. The man shakes his head as if to clear it and then seems to notice you. A clear voice comes from the console. Hello out there. I figured somebody would come along sooner or later. Who are you? Is this Jack? My name is Jack Samora. I was originally from the Philippines, but I emigrated to the United Kingdom after my 22nd birthday. I worked as a Gateway Corporation engineering tech until I was 30 and then decided to ship out with Diana. Have you seen Diana? This would be a great game for colorblind people. Jack? Mabuhay! Diana was sick when I got to her, but she's better now. That's great news. I was worried as hell about her. How'd you get in there? I was shipped out from Gateway with my girlfriend, Diana Tolson. We arrived at this artifact and thought we had it made. Little did we know that this place is a death trap. We discovered that our ship wouldn't work anymore, as you have probably found out by now to your dismay. We couldn't get away, so we thought we'd try to find the control room for this vessel and figure out a way to make it back to us. Make it take us back to Earth. We began exploring, trying to find a way past that terrible spider robot in order to get to the front of the ship. One day we were exploring a zoo near the front of the ship when we got attacked by the spider robot. I was killed and copied into electronic storage. Diana got away. Alright, well I gotta go. Goodbye. Bye now. Oh, it's a Filipino greeting? Okay. Did you hear about all the shit going on with RAM prices? I did. Yes. Yeah, Micron, which we've got a huge Micron center here in Boise, that manufactures that stuff. They're not gonna be selling consumer RAM, at least for a while. And prices are, a lot of RAM is like starting to reach that of like full-on GPUs, which is nuts. A lot of stuff's gonna get really expensive. The image of a heavy-set, middle-aged woman appears on the screen. She looks lost for a second, then resumes a lecture that she must have started the last time she was activated. And so, we can't count on the Heechee FTL drive for a large-scale colonization. We must build our own seed ships. and send them to Alpha Centauri, Epsilon Eridani, Epsilon Indi, Tau Ceti, Omicron Eridani, and Sigma Draconis. You listen intently for a moment and then try to break in. Hello, you say gently. Can I interrupt for a second? I assume it's going to take to around 2028 to settle back down. Yeah, I can see it. I don't know what's going to happen. When the bubble bursts, it'll be fun. Yeah. Fun. Yeah, we're in for a rough ride. The woman continues as if she didn't hear you. The most likely form of propulsion that we could use for interstellar travel is not based on He-Chi technology. Humboldt thinks we should proceed with full-scale development of a gas-core nuclear rocket, a pulse-drive ship that would use laser fusion to burn deuterium and tritium fuels. The first ships to build would be interstellar probes. These probes would be equipped with pulse drives. Control and guidance would be provided by sophisticated AI systems and multiply redundant optical computer networks. Power would be supplied by a radion nuclide core, possibly plutonium. On board would also be the actual probe instruments, which would include X-class sensors, proximity rangers, gravitometers, beam bouncers, spectroscopes, and every type of image capture device available. The woman pauses. Now, before we go into the Earth-Moon libration points, the L4 and L5 colonies, and the concept of a Bernal sphere, I'd like to answer any questions on the textbook sections related to interstellar exploration. Questions? The woman seems to look around as if scanning an imaginary classroom. John Candy's sister. Oh my god. She does look like John Candy, doesn't she? Just change the hair a little bit. Okay, Dr. Radiaki, can her. She seems way too boring. Will AI can't scale forever and the NAND flash producer is scaling up. Samsung's investing 30% of all profits into fab expansions. Oh, can have her. Dr. Radiaki can have her. Oh, that's good sci-fi. Yes, I have a question. The woman's eyes light up and recognition crosses her face. For a moment, you think she has become aware of your presence. Ah, good question, she says cheerfully. Your hopes fall as she continues. Well, Tanya, the answer is simple. Vacuum vapor deposition. Melt your metal and then spray it out against a form or mold where it will condense. Another answer might be a glassblower approach. Pump gas into a ball of molten metal to create a container and control its shape by spinning it. Other questions? The woman must be reliving a lecture she gave before becoming a prospector. It isn't going to be much help. You disconnect. That was Jack. Woman. An image of a beautiful woman with blonde hair appears on the screen. She looks around as if dazed. Then she speaks slowly with a great deal of hesitation. Hello? Is somebody out there? Will you talk to me for a few minutes? The woman looks confused and worried. She shakes her head. Where am I? Can't tell if I'm awake, asleep, or what. She looks out at you as if she can see you. Who are you? Where are you? You seem to be talking to me from a great distance. I can see you, but not with my eyes. It's hard to describe. What is happening to me? What is your last memory? I was stranded aboard a derelict He-Chi starship with a young American. We were getting ready to explore one of the sub-environments, obviously some kind of specimen holding area. I didn't count on the atmosphere being cumulatively toxic. It must have overwhelmed me before I realized what was happening. I think I either lost consciousness or entered a delusional state. Either way, I don't remember what happened after that. Next thing I knew, I was in this place. Who are you? Where are you from? My name is Brigitte Lacroix. I am from La Rochelle in France. Or Lacroix? Is it Lacroix? I don't know. I am 28 years old. I was born to a good family and brought up in a comfortable surroundings. After my time in the university, I got a job as a relief worker for the French World Development Authority. I saw many bad things during my time with the FWDA. Eventually, I took my savings and bought a ticket to Gateway Station. I found this artifact on my first prospecting mission. Tell me about the zoos. Okay, never mind. France, Dr. Radiaki can have her as well. She's the inheritor of the soft drink. Hail Bravo, how you doing? Let's party, Habibi. The sub-environments on the right-hand side of the ship are all based on oxygen-nitrogen atmospheres. The sub-environments on the left-hand side of the ship are based on worlds with different atmospheres and gravitational fields. Okay. Tell me about the robot. I knew that thing was a threat. It seemed to take a great interest in me when I wandered the central corridors, but I could always escape it by coming far enough aft. It wouldn't come aft. I think it uses the sensor eyes in the central corridors to see. It won't go where there are not eyes. Tell me what you know about the sensors. Well, I don't really know what to say beyond what I've already told you. In the corridor that runs from the back of the ship to the front, the central corridor, there are a series of sensor eyes that hang on cables from the roof of the corridor. I believe the entity controlling the robot uses these eyes to see. The robot can't go where it can't see. Gotta go. Goodbye, Bridget. Bridget gets an obstinate look in her eyes. You aren't getting away that easy. Tell me where I am. I'll tell you what I think. You hesitate and then continue in a tentative voice. Based on my conversations with others like you, I think you are actually an elect absorbing their personalities, memories, and thoughts into a computer program. Dead? But I'm not dead. I'm very much alive. I do feel very, very different, but dead? Hardly. I don't feel like a computer program. You sigh and regard the screen sadly. It may not be true. I have only told you what I know from talking to others like you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me, but I must go. Goodbye. Bridget has a shocked look on her face. Well, things are so strange here that it might be true. I don't know. At least you have given me something to think about it. Au revoir. The connection is broken with a click. She looks like Tasha Yar with longer hair. She acts like Tasha Yar. Okay, number 4. An image of a balding middle-aged man appears on screen. The image is accompanied by a warbling, high-pitched voice that screams out of the console. Aha! I know you're out there. Hello, hello. You shake your head and squint at the image on the screen. Who are you? You ask with some trepidation. Kia! I am Kia! Kia! Twilight of the Gods? No, just a walk in the park. Valet parking? Valet parking? Just cause the third world is in a world of hurt don't mean that you can't cruise in style. Drive a 7000 series air car from BMX, the ultimate flying machine. How did you get in there? No! Kiog wails before you can finish asking your question. Don't hurt me again! Please don't hurt me! No more needles, no more knives! Nice spider, I'll be good! Spider, spider, spider! So empty in here, why? Shake your head again. You are confused. Say what? Kiog suddenly speaks in a perfectly normal, lucid voice. Things didn't work out. I used my severance to buy a ticket to Gateway. Clean start, you know. He nods his head seriously. Can't brood on the past. Gotta move forward. Will you talk with me for a few minutes? Kiog smiles broadly. Valenstadt Nokal ice cream, he says through his toothy smile. Then the smile disappears and is replaced with a scowl. Advertising. What a crock. The McAllister campaign. Don't take my word for it. Ask accounting. Where are you from? Why did you fire me? The McAllister campaign wasn't a failure. Kiog is crying, tears running down his face. Then he looks angry. Not a failure at all. In fact, it was great. Visionary. Valenstadt no-cal ice cream. Won't stick to your ribs. Runs right through you. McAllister Foods didn't agree. The campaign was magnificent. McAllister Foods, spineless toads. Don't know good work. Nope. Stupid. Nutra this, Nutra that. Who cares? Who buys? Kiog, I don't understand what you're talking about. What are you saying? Kiog looks very serious. When I got to Gateway, I realized I had made a huge mistake. I wasn't ready to die. I couldn't go home because I had no money, but oh god, I was so afraid to go on a mission. So scared. He moans and becomes incoherent. I took Leonard Warden aside, that highfalutin corporate son of bitch. Told him I was a kindred spirit, big corporation and all. Pals we were. Got a course code from him. Supposed to be safe. Brought me here, it did. Ha! Look where that got me. Tell me about your adventures on the ship. Hyag! Smiles brightly. High adventure. You don't want high adventure during your visit to the regen clinic. You want 3 C's. Competence, caring, and comfort. He pauses, then he leans forward, an ecstatic look on his face. You want adventure? Try the Stellar Combat VR from Parapictures International. Whoa, it's so real you won't believe it. It's better than wetware. In fact, it's better than sex. I take it you were in advertising before you shipped out to Gateway, you observe dryly. Gateway, says Kyog dreamily. The door to opportunity, man's gateway to the stars, where luck meets opportunity. Gateway Enterprises. We care about your future, humanity's greatest adventure, the chance of a lifetime. Take the aptitude test. Is Gateway for you? See a Gateway Enterprises representative. Help humanity while you help yourself. Gateway Station. Find hope among the stars. Tell me about the robot. Robot spider, hee-chee, hee-chee, hee-chee. Don't hurt me, no more needles, where am I? I'd like to ask some questions about things I've found. Pure diet cat food, crunch and munch, your cat will love you. Kyog, kyog, coming at you, marketing czar, advertising star. You become frustrated, never mind the questions, this isn't going anywhere, I'm going to try someone else. You reach up to cut the connection. Alright. 5? Okay. The image of a young man fades in. His face is alight with a strange intensity. An angry, abrasive voice comes from the console. Leave me alone! You're one of them, aren't you? Go away! Piss off! He sneers briefly at you, and then the connection is cut with a click. 3, 4, 5... Go to 6. The image of an intense-looking woman fades onto the screen. She immediately starts talking in a pleasant voice that you find instinctively agreeable. Unfortunately, she speaks in a language you've never heard before. After a few hopeless minutes of flailing non-communication, you give up and disconnect. Jeez. An image of a young man appears on the screen. He greets you with enthusiasm. Heya, how you doing? You talk with me for a few minutes? Of course I want to talk. I haven't talked to a soul for ages. I'm glad for the company. Who are you? Where are you from? Just call me Roland. I was born on an algae farm off the coast of Louisiana. So you could say I'm from the Gulf of Mexico. Or you could say I'm from the Petit Bois biofood platform. I grew up in New Orleans. My parents weren't rich. They did at least provide me with basic education and medcare. Try 5 again? Alright. When my dad died, I took over his business. He started a wetware rental store after he retired from biofood. His retail career didn't last long. The D12 chemicals they used in the algae processors on Petit Bois killed him. That stuff is worse than the oil lung you get at Petro Foods. Damn company didn't even pay his med benefits. Had the audacity to call it a pre-existing condition. Anyway, Mom kicked off shortly afterward. Had to watch her die. Couldn't afford the payment for replacing heart and liver. Even with Dad's insurance, after that I sold the store and bought me a ticket to Gateway. I was gonna strike it rich, get me a full medical and a life away from a world where a man gets killed by his job and a woman dies while doctors stand around watching. Hey, it's like real life. Anyway, that's who I am. I was 25 when I punched out from Gateway on a prospecting mission, found myself next to the ship, and thought all my troubles were over. Ha! My troubles were just beginning. How did you get here? Well, let's see. My little ship was pulled in by some kind of tractor beam. A docking ring mated with the access hatch of my ship, and I ventured inside. Still thought I was blessed with luck, and I was thanking the Lord, who I'd lost some faith in up to that point, for my good fortune. I decided to to explore my discovery post-haste. My wanderings took me to the computer room you're in now, but I couldn't figure out how to make it do squat. Next, I went into a smaller domed room. In the middle of this room was a couch. That's where I found Bridget. Bridget was another gateway prospector. She was a real knockout, a French woman from La Rochelle. She had been aboard the artifact for a number of weeks. At first I was crushed. Someone had found the artifact before me. Bridget would get all of the royalties. Bridget laughed when I told her my fears. Then she told me that royalties were the least of my problems. Told me I was trapped here. Panicked. Bridget was very nice while I went crazy. She waited patiently as I ran back to my ship and tried to punch out. No luck. When I calmed down, she told me about the food dispensers and life aboard the ship. Then she told me about the monster and the worlds. It slowly began to sink in that I might be stuck here. Bridget had tried to get to the forward part of the ship. She ran into some kind of monster in the central corridor, a huge machine that looked like a huge spider. She was deathly afraid of the thing and ran away from it. The spider monster seemed to stay in the central corridor, so Bridget decided to try and go around it. She spent days trying to guess the code for a keypad on the bulkhead door on the right side of the ship. Eventually, she found the combination through trial and error. She went through the door. The corridor beyond led into a room built around a pyramid thing covered with symbols. At the far side of the room was a force field. Bridget figured out how to get through the force field. You know, it was on the other side. It was the damnedest thing. That door led to another world. I mean, how else to explain it? There was sky, grass, plants, you name it. Whole environment, a whole new world. There were even new creatures there. Bridget showed it to me later. Wow. My first trip out and I wound up on the surface of another planet. Bridget and I bummed around for a month. We found another world on the left side of the ship, but this one was filled with poison gas. Bridget breathed too much of the stuff and flipped out. She eventually ran screaming into the central corridor, and the spider monster came and cut off the top of her head. Tried to stop it, and the next thing I know, I've got these nasty metal arms wrapped around me and a circular saw is working away at my skull. And I woke up in here. This goes to show you can't fight fate. Old message, never mind that one. Okay. 44153? Twitch is tripping. Ask Miku if she's down to recreate some scenes from Pleasure Suit Larry together with Diane. Oh god. Tell me about the robot. The robot, it was a big nasty thing. Had 8 legs and a body like a pregnant spider. It grew a bunch of new arms when it was attacking Bridget and me. The new arms were covered in needles, saws, clamps, other awful tools. It's pretty terrible. It's ironic, ain't it? Fled across light years of space to be eaten by some weird alien spider thing. Never did have much in the way of luck. Tell me about the intelligence that runs the ship. I don't know much about it, but there's definitely something there. Toys with me occasionally, pulling me out of storage or sleep or wherever it is I go when I'm not awake. I don't talk to it, it just studies me. I gotta go. Bye, Roland. Bye now. La Gamgas! Raiding! Hello! Welcome in, Raiders! How are you doing? God, disconnected? Reconnecting? Oh my gosh! Okay, are we still here? Are we still here? Are we still here? Okay, it should be good. I think I'm still here. I think it just went out for a second. Welcome. Oh my gosh. Definite bit of chop chop, then oh my gosh, we're here sorta. Ay. Nice to meet you. Thanks, Matt Glad, for recommending. Well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you to both of you. Oh, man. Okay, so is it working okay now? You guys can see me? Whoa, what a time for it to just drop out like that. Okay. Yeah, so
you're almost
a Jill sandwich, yes. So yeah, welcome in. Happy December to everybody. We are currently playing Gateway 2, Homeworld, by Legend Entertainment. And if you're new here, I pretty much always do stuff on original hardware. I've got a 486 here that I built myself, and we got the Roland MT32. That's what we're listening to right now with the music. And yeah, this is Gateway, Gateway 2. It's a parser adventure game, basically a text adventure game with some graphics attached to it. Half Price Books, woo, yeah. I did get this from Half Price Books. I was just at Half Price Books yesterday. That's where I got the Total Annihilation Kingdoms for $2. I got that Half Price Books. I go in there all the time. Chill sandwich. Yeah, right now we are on an alien ship, and there's a spider robot that every time someone visits the ship, the spider robot comes crawling out of the walls, and it grabs someone, and then it'll cut your head off and like extract your brain and analyze your thought patterns and puts the thought patterns into a computer. And these are all recreations of people who were killed by the weird spider robot thing that we're talking to right now. It sucks their brain through a straw, yes. Yeah. An image of a haunted woman with dark hair appears on the screen. A quavering voice, afraid yet filled with hope, comes from the console. John? Is that you? Sorry, this isn't John. I want to talk though. Who are you? The woman laughs nervously. Don't kid around, John. This is Tara. I know it's you. God, I've missed you. Okay, for you, I'll be John. Now, can we talk? I'm glad you're back. I actually thought there was a chance you had gone away for good this time. When you left, I went crazy. I used Paolo's money to buy a ticket to Gateway. Halfway out to Gateway Station, I knew I'd screwed up. Tried to get them to turn the ship around, but it was too late. Tara smiles uncertainly, but that's all I remember for sure. Are we on Gateway? I sort of remember making a god-awful expensive long-distance comm transmission from Gateway. You answered and I was so happy to hear your voice, but then there was another woman's voice, sleepy like she just woke up. Come to think of it, you sounded sleepy too. Oh, that's not right. I knew that it couldn't be true. It wasn't true. It was a bad dream. Did I also think about my dream about my trip to Gateway? Oh, John, I'm sorry. I'm kind of confused. Tara looks small and helpless. Jesus, those nightmares. You with another woman. A long trip cramped in a cramped Heechee ship, going crazy, and that horrible spider on the alien ship. It all seems so real, but I know it isn't. You are real. You are my love. I love you so much it hurts. Tara and her confusion were mildly amusing at first. This is not amusing at all. You apologized to poor deluded Tara and cut the connection. Okay then. So, what were you playing, Lady Game God? I don't think it said what you were doing. Yeah, what were you up to? The image of a friendly young man appears. He begins talking in a language that you don't understand. After a few attempts at communication, you both give up and sign off. Okay. An image of an Asian man appears on the screen. An anxious, excited voice begins spewing Japanese or Chinese. Unfortunately, you can't understand a word he is saying. You disconnect after a few moments of embarrassed silence. Okay. Well, there's that. When you finish accessing the alien computer terminal, you make sure that you scratch the combination on your slip of paper. Sure enough, it's there. 44153. Okay, so let's save. That was a lot of talk. It was. It was. Japanese Chinese. Yes, they sound exactly the same. Okay, 44153. 4415. Doesn't this look like Predator numbers or something? Spoken like a typical Westerner. Ancient machinery grinds to life and the heavy bulkhead door slides open. My score has just gone up by 20. You're in another glowing blue corridor that runs northeast to southwest. Okay. Hey, I found a thing. The obelisk room. A dark obelisk towers over you. Beyond the obelisk to the north is a shimmering red force field portal. A glowing sphere, the same color as the force field, hangs in the air beside the portal. A corridor leads southwest. It does. Or like Predator self-detonation numbers. Yeah. Okay, look at obelisk. A blue obelisk dominates the room. It's about 3 meters tall, made of a rough textured metal that has a mottled blue surface. You see a series of raised lines on one side of the obelisk. After a moment of study, the lines resolve themselves into Heechee numbers. You scratch the pattern into your sheet of paper. Look at paper. Okay, we'll show the symbol there. Numbers. I went to go see the new Predator movie at the theaters. Cool, yeah, so did I. What did you think? Get to the chopper. See you at the party, Richter. Let's see. Look at force field. Shimmering red force field appears to be a portal or door of some kind. Look at sphere. Glowing red sphere seems to hang in space next to the portal. Put rod in sphere. As you bring the crystal rod near the glowing red sphere, a tentacle of red energy reaches out from the sphere and makes contact with the rod. A feeling like a mild electric shock runs from the rod into you. The rod shines briefly with an intense red light. Immediately afterward, the force field sphere and the rod change color from red to blue with a sizzle and crackle. Okay. Pretty much what I thought a PG-13 Predator movie would turn out to be. Already forgotten about exiting the theater? Predator's PG-13, how dare they? I thought it seemed like a Marvel movie. Like it was a Marvel movie in a Predator skin, kind of. It was not a Predator movie. As far as Marvel movies go, I guess it was pretty good. As far as it being a Predator movie, I think it leaves a lot to be desired. Zoo? I think I'm about to the zoo. You step into the shifting patterns of blue light, feeling a slight tingle as your body passes through the force field. Whoa, now we're somewhere else. And we really want to go back to play that Capcom AVP arcade game? Oh, that one's really good. That one's really cool. I like that game. I like the Super Nintendo one too. I like that one a lot. It has really good music. 1 second, you're in the mysterious obelisk room on board the alien starship. The next thing you know, you pass through the force field and wind up somewhere else. You take stock of your surroundings with growing disbelief. The ship's deck is gone, replaced by soil and rocks. Before you is a large pool of green ooze, a miniature lake of a bubbling tar-like substance. Beyond the ooze is a wall of spiny plants. The environment is huge. It feels like the surface of an alien world. It even smells different. You look up. The sky is blue-green and cloudy, but you can see the bright spots in the clouds where 3 suns are shining. The sky stretches away on every side of you, fading to infinity. Behind you is the only link to reality as you knew it seconds before, a glowing force field portal with a familiar floating sphere. You begin to realize that this environment is partly real and partly an illusion. The ground under you is real enough. The sky above must be a hologram. This is a recreation of an alien ecosystem, a zoo, with some elements being very real and some being mere computer-generated figments. The overall effect is compelling and not a little frightening. Barren area. You are standing on the bank of the pool of vicious green ooze. Cloudy blue-green sky hangs overhead, and you can see 3 bright spots in the clouds that correspond to a triple sun. To your back is the glowing force field portal and the familiar red sphere. On the other side of the ooze, you can see a dense thicket of strange spiny plants. You see a pool of ooze here. About 2 meters away from you on your side of the ooze is a translucent green blob about 1 meter in diameter that seems to sense your presence and extends a pseudopod. The pseudopod waves tentatively in your direction, as if looking for something. Fill bowl with ooze. You use the metal bowl to scoop up some of the ooze. The resinous substance clings to the metal, and you have to drag the bowl through the ooze with both hands. Finally, you pull the bowl out of the ooze with a good-sized glob with the tar-like stuff inside. My score has gone up by 10. Sweet, so that's something I was supposed to do. You hear a sharp crackling sound from the portal. The color of the force field has shifted from blue to an angry red. You notice that the crystal rod has also changed color. The blob begins moving towards you, flowing with an amazing speed over the ground. It extends several pseudopods as it moves. Before you can react, the blob has reached you. It pulls around your feet, flows up your legs, and then covers your body, running its pseudopods over your clothes and exposed skin. The blob seems to be looking for something specific, and it apparently can't find what it wants. Eventually, it drops off you and retreats to its previous position on the bank of the ooze. Ooze. Pet ooze. You don't need to use the word pet in this game. Swim in ooze. There would be no point to going swimming in the glop of ooze. Touch blob. Not slimy, more like a snake skin than anything else. Eat blob. Whoa. The green blob doesn't look very appetizing. You notice something strange out of the corner of your eye. A strange creature has emerged from under a rock on the bank. It's tiny, about 5 centimeters across. Looks like the land equivalent of a sea anemone. An enemy. It has a thick snail-like foot and a crown of tentacles. The tentacles wave around in the air, occasionally touching the ground as the creature slides along the edge of the bank. You almost look away, but you notice that one of the thing's tentacles accidentally touches a drop of the sticky tar-like ooze on the bank. The tentacles flail wildly for a moment, but this frantic motion only succeeds in spreading the ooze all over the unfortunate creature. Eventually, it's completely gummed up, with its tentacles stuck together in a gooey mass. The creature topples over into the pool of ooze and sinks out of sight. Okay. Look at plants. The tall, dense plants have branches covered with stiff spines. The spines are quite large, a few centimeters long, and are not terribly sharp. Spiny plants are more a barrier to forward progress than a physical threat. You notice some twigs and branches have broken off the main stalks and are hanging in the other growth. Take spine. Take twig. Okay, maybe I go north? Here we go. Back up to the portal and take a running jump over the narrowest part of the pool of ooze. Edge of thicket. You're standing on the edge of a dense growth of spiny plants. The tangled plants reach several meters into the air. They present an intimidating barrier to further progress. Dang man, I have Albion on GOG. Oh yeah, Albion is one that I'd like to get. That one looks cool. I was thinking next year I want to do CRPGs, starting with Albion. Yeah, the actual one is like $400. One of the boxes have a sticker that says $20 to be in the year 2000 again. Yeah. 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 Back when they said PC games weren't worth much, I would have stocked up. Yeah. 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 Try the tuning fork. Oh, I could try the tuning fork on the ooze. That's a good idea. Take spine. You delicately pluck a spiny twig from one of the tall plants. Hey, my score went up. You notice something out of the corner of your eye. Strange creatures emerge from under a rock in the banks. Tiny, about 5 centimeters across. It looks like... See an enemy? Okay, it's the same thing. Use ooze on spines. The game show your current score. You've achieved a score of 280 out of 1600 and 242 turns. There you go. Put ooze on spine. You tilt the bowl and wait for what seems to be an eternity as the tar-like ooze slowly moves toward the rim of the bowl. Finally, a gummy streamer of the ooze drips from the bowl and lands on the twig. Nothing happens. Jump back. Before you can react. Okay. Oh! The blob begins moving toward you, flowing with amazing speed. Before you can react, the blob has reached you. It pulls around your feet, flows up your legs, and covers your body, running its pseudopods over your clothes and exposed skin. The blob finds the twig from the thicket that you're holding and consumes the spiny plant with apparent relish. It stays wrapped around you as it finishes eating. Hit ooze with tuning fork. You strike the tuning fork, it produces an eerie, ringing tone. The blob searches your body for more of the spiny plants. It can't find any, so it flows off of you and resumes its position on the bank of the pool of ooze. Pour ooze on blob. You notice something out of the corner. Okay, that's one of those. Wait, what? Pour ooze on blob. The blob recoils from the ooze. Cover myself in ooze. Pour ooze on me. You take another look at the disgusting ooze and think again. You don't need to cover yourself with the sticky tar-like substance. So it does eat the spine, yeah. I have not played Albion yet. It's just one that I've like watched some like clips of and looked at like pictures of, and the CRPG book has a section on Albion. So I was like making notes of things that I wanted to play, and that was one of them. Relish. So it eats the spine. Let's take spine. Put spine in bowl. Putting the twig in the bowl would get ooze all over it. That's the idea. That's the idea. Put spine in ooze. You can't put the spine in the glop of ooze. Okay. Look at bowl. Glop of ooze. Look at twig. Look at thicket. All dense plants have branches covered with stiff spines. The spines are quite large. Okay. I've had Albion in my backlog for well over 8 years. Might as well give it a whirl. It's supposedly a very long game. Will probably consume my streams well through spring. I do save some nights for survival horror just to prevent burnout. Use ooze on spine. Cover spine with ooze. Tilt the bowl and wait for what seems to be an eternity. Yeah, I tried this one before. A gummy streamer of the ooze drips from the bowl and lands on the twig. Nothing happens. Eat spine. You nibble on one of the spines. The taste is akin to a blend of cilantro, wax, and seared rubber. Blob moves towards you. Blob finds the twig, consumes the spiny plant with a relish, stays wrapped around me as it finishes eating. Hypo needles? Pour ooze on blob. Coils from the ooze. Kick blob. The blob flows around your clumsy attack. Oh? A cluster of spines is separated from the thicket across the pool of ooze by a sudden movement of air. The spines tumble down through the air, drifting across the ooze as they fall. Eventually they land on the bank next to the blob. The blob has obviously been waiting for just such an occurrence. It flows eagerly over the spines, consuming them hungrily. Take spine. Okay. Oh, it came over and grabbed me. Okay. The green dial determines the quantity of medicine. So between like 0 and 1 cc. And the blue dial determines what type of medicine. And we have insulin, adrenaline, antiviral, antibiotic, antitoxin, tissue regenerator, and sedative. I don't know how to lure it to the wall. Antiviral on blob? Check blob with hypo. You jab at the blob with the hypo, but it simply flows away from the attack. So if I come up here, strange creature emerged from under a rock in the banks. Tiny. See an enemy. Okay. Take spine. Eat blob. Eat thicket. You nibble on one of the spines. Drink ooze. You must be getting pretty desperate if you're trying to drink a glop of ooze. Touch ooze. Feel nothing unusual. Hit wall with tuning fork. You strike the tuning fork, it produces an eerie ringing tone. Well, there is ooze in the metal bowl. Put ooze in bowl. The glop of ooze is already on the metal bowl. Pour ooze out of bowl. There's nothing in the... Look at bowl. There's nothing in the metal bowl. Then it says in the metal bowl you see a glop of ooze. Empty bowl. Take ooze out of bowl. You already have some ooze inside the bowl. You don't need any more. Hit tuning fork on bowl. Game is confusing itself. So when I picked up the tuning fork initially, there was something that said that like it could shatter crystal. So I think the tuning fork is going to be used to break some sort of crystal of some sort, or like a crystal wall or a window or something. That would be my guess. Look at clearing. Glop of ooze. Pour ooze on ground. You tilt the bowl and wait for it seems like an eternity as the tar-like ooze slowly moves toward the rim of the bowl. Finally, a gummy streamer of the ooze drips from the bowl and lands on the ground. Nothing happens. Okay. Hack plants. Scream. You bellow until your throat gets sore. Hug blob. Not slimy, more like snake skin. Drink ooze. Takes fine. Yeah. Yeah. But you can't go forward anymore with the wall. You're thrown backward in a shower of bright red sparks. A cluster of spine. Okay. Put rod in sphere. Okay. Alright, so I can come back here. Walls are made of the familiar blue glowing metal. You hear a sharp crackling sound as the portal shifts. What are these? Okay. Need the blob more sticks? Maybe we'll follow. I don't know. Not sure. Let's talk to computer lady. You press the first button, the screen blanks out for a second, then Miki's image fades in. Hello again, she says, her soft voice coming from the console of the alien computer system. Let's see, tell me about the intelligence. How do I get through the first zoo? I don't know, it's up to you. Damn it. Alright, it's not very useful. Yeah. Pretty much tried that, yeah. Let's talk to Diana. She know anything? What are the zoos? I don't think she has anything else. Show bowl to Diana. Water dish. Give ooze to Diana. She looks at the glop of ooze without much interest. Okay. Rod on sphere. Put rod in sphere. Alright, try that again. I reckon the ooze and the wall need to get together. Thing as it dissolved the spine. Probably. Take ooze. Take spine. Take spine. Already have the twig. Go north. Let's see. Blob searches your body for more of the spiny plants. It can't find any. Oh, there we go. I had to get the ooze to attach to me. Then I jump over. And then the ooze crawls off of me. And now it's going to eat stuff. The blob searches your body for more of the spiny plants. It can't find any, so it flows off you. When it hits the ground, the blob extends a pseudopod and waves it in the direction of the spiny thicket. After a few seconds, the blob recoils slightly and begins to tremble, almost as if it can't believe its own good fortune. It flows rapidly toward the base of the thicket and then on to the first of the spiny stalks. Whew. No, I think you can get in trouble for giving ooze to a lady uninvited. Talk to Blob. Take spine, go to Blob, go back north and wait. What about Blob? Talk to Blob. You can't talk to a green blob. The blob spreads itself thinly across several of the spiny stalks, absorbing the plants as it goes. It grows exponentially as it eats, instantly converting the plant material into flesh, or whatever it's made of. Perhaps blobness is a better word. You watch in amazement as the blob chews an entrance into the thicket. Finally, the blob reaches some internal limit and withdraws, obviously satiated. You inspect the ragged hole in the thicket and see light filtering in from the northeast. You might be able to make it through there. Alright, we made it through. You plunge into the entrance created by the blob, walking easily through the hole in the impossibly dense thicket. After a few claustrophobic moments, you find your way into the clearing. You are in a clearing under a blue-green sky. A tall tree stands in the middle of the clearing, its twisted alien branches reaching high into the air. To the northwest, you can see a low hillock. The ooze pool lies back to the southwest. You see a tree here. How did I manage to open thicket? I got the spine. I jumped over where the ooze was. The ooze climbed onto me. Then I jumped back. The ooze ate the thing that I had, the spine, and then it crawled off of me. But it crawled off of me on the side of the thicket. And so it started eating the thicket. Almost immediately after you make your way into the clearing, you see 3 bipedal aliens bounding towards you from the northwest. They are ugly reptilian lizard things with beady little eyes, scaly skin, and large mouths full of overlapping rows of sharp teeth. You quickly decide they are not friendly. What's more, they are looking at you as if you might be lunch. try to retreat back the way you came, but they are moving too quickly. You find yourself cut off, surrounded on all sides. You back up until you're against the base of the tree that dominates the clearing. Oh, dinosaurs. Cool. What do I do? Let's see. What do we got? I don't know. Hit tuning fork? Dinosaur things getting close, snapping at you with their oversized jaws and slashing the air in front of you with their claws. They seem to be in a kind of sadistic, playful mood. Climb tree? You scramble up the tree, frantically grabbing for handholds until you reach a fork in the branches about 4 meters off the ground. You can't climb any higher. You settle in for the moment, taking stock of your surroundings. The branches of the tree are covered with leaves and loaded with clusters of green fruit. Hey, my score went up. All three of the vicious-looking predators stare up at you with beady black eyes, their mouths open. Take fruit. You pluck a fruit pod from a nearby cluster. Throw fruit at lizard. You take aim at one of the evil-looking carnivores and let the fruit pod fly with all the force you can muster. The pod slams into the reptilian skull of one of the ugly beasts with a satisfying pop, and then skitters out of sight. The stricken dinosaur's head snaps to one side from the impact, and the thick-bodied lizard slowly keels over, unconscious or dead. Your score has just gone up by 10. The two remaining monsters paw at their comrade as if trying to rouse it. Take fruit. Throw fruit at lizard. Feeling cocky, you heft the fruit pod and draw a bead on the next dinosaur thing. Your intended target looks up at you, apparently oblivious to your intentions. You snap your arm and release the fruit, which flies straight and true. It catches the carnivore square in the snout with a squishy sounding thud, eliciting a yowl of pain from the surprised beast before it takes 2 unsteady steps backwards and collapses in an untidy pile. 2 down, 1 to go. Last dinosaur thing runs in circles around the base of the tree. Take fruit. Throw fruit at lizard. With a wind-up and a delivery that would have made an early 21st century baseball pitcher proud, you hurl the fruit pod at the last standing target. The pod ricochets off the cranium of the remaining monster. The beast paws at the air in a comical way, lashes its tail, and slumps to the ground. You stand up in the fork of the tree to receive applause from the imaginary crowd. As you take your second bow, you lose your footing and fall forward. You bounce once off the branch just below, then hit the ground hard. You lose your breath with an agonized oof. Look at lizard. You're in no shape to do anything except gasp for breath. In fact, you barely notice when an 8-legged lizard appears out of nowhere and approaches you. You're still winded, but you manage to prop your head up and take a closer look at the lizard. It appears to be a smaller, many-legged version of the now comatose dinosaur things. It does not seem to be carnivorous, however, and the lizard is studying you. It seems mesmerized by something. You're still winded. You watch helplessly as the lizard reaches over you and picks up the red crystal rod with the flexible digits at the end of its 2 forelegs. You manage to make feeble shooing motions with your hands, but the lizard ignores you and studies the rod intently. Finally, it takes one last look at you, turns around, and ambles away. You recover enough to get up on your knees and yell hoarsely after the lizard as it wanders off to the northwest. Alright. I gotta follow it. You're standing on a low hill. To the north is a glowing force field portal. To the right of the portal is a bizarre cluster of tentacles and plant stalks. To the west is a gully. A clearing dominated by tall trees lies to the southeast. You see some tentacles and some stalks here. On the south, you see some crystal eggs. Look at stalks. To one side of the portal is a bizarre sight. A writhing ring of long whip-like tentacles emerges from the ground, sheltering a cluster of tall, thin stalks. Each stalk ends a bright red egg. Eggs glitter in a way that make them seem less than organic. They're quartz-like or crystalline in structure. Per ooze on stalks. You upend the bowl over the massive tentacles, and the ooze slowly flows out like treacle. When the first streamer of the stuff touches one of the tentacles, the entire collection of whipping, coiling, snake-like tubes is thrown into a frenzy and knock the bowl out of your hand, sending it and the rest of the ooze squarely into the most dense cluster of tentacles. You watch the commotion as the tentacles flail about and then begin to stick to each other, to the ground and to the bowl, and to the plant stalks behind them. After a few moments, the ring of tentacles has been reduced to a helpless, quivering mass, gummed together by the resinous ooze. Cool. Take egg. You reach past the quivering mass of tentacles and gently remove one of the brittle crystalline eggs from the top of a stalk. Look at the stalk. Look at egg. Egg's about 10 centimeters long and is made of brittle red crystalline substance. The plant must have been extracting some kind of mineral or crystalline compound from the ground, and the egg is the end result. Okay. Go with us. You're in a small ravine about 10 meters deep. The terrain here is arid and inhospitable. The hill with the portal lies to the east. You see what looks like a crude nest at the bottom of the gully. You see an alien lizard here. The alien lizard is holding the crystal rod. The lizard bobs up and down on its legs. Give egg to lizard. You hold the crystalline egg out in front of you and slowly approach the lizard. The lizard stares intently at the egg, its little legs flexing as if the creature is feeling a conflict between wanting the egg and running away. This is such happy music. You set the egg down in front of the lizard. After a brief pause, the lizard drops the crystal rod, picks up the egg, and takes an experimental bite. Then it gives you a final look, emits a happy "wee" and runs away. Take rod. Now I got the crystal rod. Okay, cool. Easy peasy. Look at nest. A nest of plant stalks and debris lies in the bottom of the gully. You notice a glint of red from some fragments in the body of the nest. Take stalk. Yeah, okay, whatever, that's fine. Okay, put rod in sphere. There we go. Cool. A dark obelisk towers over you. Beyond the obelisk to the south is a shimmering blue force field portal. A glowing sphere, the same color as the force field, hangs in the air beside the portal. Look at obelisk. Blue obelisk dominates the room. It's about 3 meters tall, made of a rough textured metal that has a mottled blue surface. You see a series of raised lines on one side of the obelisk. After a moment of study, the lines resolve themselves into Heechee numbers. You scratch the pattern into your sheet of paper. You hear a sharp crackling sound. Okay, yeah. Cool. Let's go... Oh wait, let's go north. There we go. Oh, there's another room. Look at obelisk. Alright, we have more. And we can see the... Yeah. Trace them? Done already? Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Put rod in sphere. See what's through here. Whew. You're in a small underground chamber. The glowing blue force field portal lies directly behind you to the south. As you look around your cramped surroundings, you see the suggestion of sunlight through a patchwork of roots directly above your head. See some roots here. Look at roots. It's very dark, but you trace the roots down from the patchwork above to the floor of the enclosed area. Some of the roots are actually thick, quite thick. They might bear your weight. You hear a sharp crackling sound from the portal. Yeah, okay. Oh, what's this? You dig your way up from the underground chamber using your hands to scoop out stones and earth and pulling yourself up with the roots hanging down from the surface. Meadow. This is a beautiful green meadow under a clear blue sky. To the northwest, you can see colorful sprays of wildflowers surrounding the first trees of a great forest. Directly in front of you is a large mud puddle that might be the dry bed of a shallow pond. At the edge of the mud is the carcass of a long dead animal. A dried skin covered with mangy fur hangs loosely on the carcass. To the northeast, the forest gives way to grasslands. The portal chamber lies below you through an opening in the ground. Look at skin. Take skin. You take the animal skin from the carcass. Just like that? Okay. Look at carcass. The unidentifiable animal has apparently been dead for some time. It is stretched out on the bank of the pool of mud. The carcass has been stripped of its skin. Take mud. You take a handful of mud and smear it over yourself. Then you step into the mud puddle. Why did I smear it over myself? You step into the mud puddle, your feet sinking in with a slurpy sucking sound. You cover yourself with mud, making a fine mess, and catching up on behavior you never could exhibit as a child in the harsh oil food mines of Montana. When you're done, you look like the Swamp Thing. Why? Why? I mean, apparently that is something I had to do, but why? Can I take carcass? No. Wear skin. You drape the smelly animal skin around my shoulders. Sure. Forest is dark green and peaceful. Beams of sunlight filter through the foliage. Above you, dappling carpet of leaves below. You see a wood branch here. Take a branch. Okay. You set off to the northeast. Eventually, the lush grass, plants, and trees give way to warm but dry grasslands. The terrain changes also, the gentle hills turning into sandstone bluffs. Oh my god, I found apes! I found monkey men. So random. Yeah, predator. You are approaching a series of rock formations when two hairy bipedal humanoids block your path. Oh my gosh, I'm on Planet of the Apes. They are as startled to see you as you are to see them, and they react by bobbing up and down and making agitated noises. You stare at them for a moment. They look familiar. Suddenly it hits you. They are proto-humans. The environment, which has been strangely familiar since you arrived, is Earth. The Hichi must have visited Earth 500,000 years ago and collected samples of the local flora and fauna. You have been wandering around in a perfectly maintained recreation of Earth's distant past. What do we do with the monkey men? This is a grassy area that borders on dry, arid terrain to the northeast. A collection of oddly shaped rock formations sprouts to the north. Directly in front of you are the two proto-human ape men. The ape men are wearing animal pelts and holding primitive spheres. The ape men regard you with interest. One of them experimentally pokes you in the chest with a hairy finger. When you don't react, both of them bob up and down and make ook ook noises. Poke ape man. Not a good idea. Not a good idea at all. When you make a move towards the ape men, they make startled arg noises and bash you repeatedly with their spears. You reel backward, clutching your head and groaning. The ape men do a little dance, shuffling around, hooting and waving their spears. No, I didn't take the carcass, did I? Give branch to ape man. Not much interest. Okay, one of the ape men points at you and then mumbles something to the other. Both of them bare their teeth and make arg arg noises. They seem to be laughing at me. Talk to ape man? The ape men nod seriously as you talk to them. Then the taller of the two looks at the other and emits a curious grunt. The short ape man makes a shrugging motion and they both shake their heads. One of the ape men points at you and then mumbles something to the other. Both of them bare their teeth and make arg arg noises. They seem to be laughing at you. Give skin to ape man? They look at the animal skin without much interest. One of the 8 men playfully wields his spear and bashes you in the head. There's a general amusement as you recoil with an annoyed ouch. I don't know. Hit tuning fork. The 8 men regard you with interest. One of them experimentally pokes you in the chest. Okay, they're just doing that again. Okay. The 8 men look at you suspiciously, but they allow you to pass. Okay. A series of rock formations rises to the north. The formations are an interesting mix of forbidding angles and soft curves, sheer cliffs and gentle slopes. A cave entrance is set into one of the cliffs to the northeast. Okay. You leave the bright sunshine and enter a dark, rock-lined tunnel. You follow the tunnel as it descends into the earth. The light fades completely after a few moments, and you stumble forward until you see a glowing orange light up ahead. You walk faster and emerge into a large cavern. A fire burns in the middle of this underground cavern, throwing shifting patterns of orange light onto the rock walls. The cave continues to the north, but it constricts to a narrow, dark passageway. To the southwest is the mouth of the tunnel that brought you into the cavern. A figure sits hunched next to the fire. On the floor of the cave, barely visible in the dim orange light, is what appears to be a leather thong. Hey, Zeph! Can you punch one of them? I could try. Punch Ape Man. Not a good idea at all. When you make a move towards the 8 men, they make startled og noises and bash you repeatedly with their spears. You reel backwards, clutching your head and groaning. How are you doing, Zeph? Take Thong? Take Thong. Look at Thong. Thong is essentially a long, thin string made of toughened animal hide. It's about 20 centimeters long. Wear thong. You can't wear the leather thong. Am I dropping frames? Probably. Is the stream acting badly for anyone else? If it is, maybe I should just, like, end and try again tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be better tomorrow. I don't know. Damn. I think it may be acting rather poorly. I even get to see what punching them does. Stream broke? Oh. Really? Well, that's annoying. Ugh. Stream's been struggling a lot today. Is it desynced? Or is it just chopping up like crazy and buffering and working poorly? Ethernet there. It might be yours. Yeah, another one was working fine. Ah, man. Well, that's a bummer. You guys even hear me right now? Dropping out, still sync though? Might have to reboot router, modem? Yeah, alright. Alright.